So yesterday already we have discussed the basics of the Azure Data Factory. So before we move ahead, just I want to brush it up once, and we'll move ahead with this subject here. Okay. So whereas the Azure Data Factory, basically it is what? It is an service. It is a service. It is a service provided by what's that? Microsoft. Okay. It is a service provided by the Microsoft. It is a service provided by the Microsoft to perform the ETL operations, that is between the clouds and on premises. Okay, or on premises to cloud, vice versa, whatever it may be. Okay, guys. So this is nothing but the thing we have seen the basics of this, the Azure this thing introduction yesterday. Now today we'll start with this. Okay, so as we need to perform the job of just a
Sir,
minute.
sir, one doubt. Can you tell me exactly what is the on-premises?
And what is the ETL? What is ETL, sir?
Just a minute. I'm coming to that. Just give me a second time. Okay, guys. So I'll just brush it up once. That's better. Okay. So whereas, okay, what is basically the ETL? ETL is nothing but it stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. Extraction. It stands for extraction, transformation, and L stands for loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. Whereas this is the ancient technique we are using it. Right now, the scenario in most of the corporates, it has changed to extraction, loading, then transformation. Okay, then transformation. So these are the two techniques. Now I'll just brief you what exactly this extraction, transformation, and loading is used. Basically, to begin with, the extraction, transformation, and loading process requires the following. What is that? The first one, we require it as a source, and the second one is require it as a target. Getting my point? Target. So we require two things here. Okay, what is it? Source is the destination, that is, source is the starting point. Source is the starting point, and target is the destination. Target is what is that? Destination. Now, guys, suppose you wanted to travel somewhere. Suppose you wanted to travel from Hyderabad to the Bangalore. So what will be a source? What will be a source? You wanted to travel from Hyderabad to the Bangalore. Yes, guys, I want in session to be a bit interactive. I want everyone to interact with me, irrespective of the things.
By bus, by train, or flight.
Whatever it may be. That is a source of, that is nothing but the means of travel, you can say. But what is your source? Your source is what?
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad, exactly. Very good. Hyderabad is your source. Whereas your destination is what? Bangalore. Bangalore. And now here, Bangalore is your destination. Okay, Bangalore is your destination. Whereas now here it comes the middle. What is that? The middle part. What is it? You're traveling by what means? By using a bus. Else you can travel it by using your own car. You can travel by using your own car. So I'm just using comma. You're using a car. That is a semicolon car. Or else by the means of train. You can use a train. And by flight. These are all what? These are all what? These are the means of transport which it yes, or exactly means, or we can say mode of transport which takes you from Hyderabad to what is that? Bangalore. Which takes you from Hyderabad to what is that? Bangalore. That is your destination, as your Bangalore. Wherein you can travel either by using a bus, car, train, flight, okay, or anything it can be, whatever it may be. But generally we have all these things. Okay, these are the four mode of transports we have it. Of course, in fact, we can go out on a bike, but that is a bit risky. So these are the things we have it. But now can you see here, we are ultimately traveling. We are ultimately what we are doing, we are traveling. We are traveling here from Hyderabad to the Bangalore, from Hyderabad to what is that, Bangalore, okay, by using all this mode of transport. Getting my point? Whereas in the same way here, what is being transport here, you we can travel it, else we can transport some of the goods, we can do anything, okay, isn't it? Whereas here the source is nothing but, the source is the source of data. Here we have to consider it as what, data. At the source level you will always find the data box, okay, you will always find the data. So the data you have to transfer it, the data you have to transfer it from one source to what is that, another source. Whereas to transfer this data from one source to what is that, another source, ultimately what is being transported here, that nothing but data is being transported from one source to what is that, another source. Whereas for transporting of the data from one source to the another source, that is from the source to the target, in between we use this ADF, that is called as what, Azure Data Factory. What is it? We use what is that, Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory. We use the Azure Data Factory, which is a service provided by the Microsoft. This is not a software, guys. It is a service provided by the Microsoft, which carries the data from the source to the target, or else we can say from the destination, that is from the that is source to the target, from the source to the target. But whereas what is that source? That source ultimately it carries of the data only. But whereas what are the source? We can have the data at the following different sources. That means suppose you have the data, in your computer located in your home. You have your computer. Getting my point? You have the data physically located in your computer into some, some C drive. You have some data is there. Some C drive, some data is there. Okay. So now this data is in your local computer, which is located at your home. Now what you wanted to do is you want to transport this data from your computer onto the, suppose, Google Drive. I'm giving you Google Drive here. Google Drive. Google Drive. Guys, if at any point of time you feel difficulty to understand, just let me know, so that this is the very basic things which you require to know. Once we move into the subject, then it will be difficult for you to catch up the things. Okay. So now guys, what I am doing, see here, in your computer, which is located in Amirpet, you have your physical computer. As you're staying there, you have your own computer, and in your computer within the C drive, you have some data, and that data you are trying to move it from your computer to what is that, Google Drive, to what is that, Google Drive. That means what you are doing, you are trying to move the data from on premises. That means from the physical location you are moving the data from on premises to what is that, on premises to what, cloud environment. Onto the cloud environment. Onto what environment? Cloud environment. So whenever you wanted to move the data from physical computers, okay, from the physical computer towards that cloud environment, at that particular time, this is called as on premises to cloud transfer. It is called as what, on premises to what is that, cloud transfer. Hence for this operation we use the service of the Microsoft, that is called as what, ADF, which stand for Azure Data Factory.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, it's Informatica ETL and Azure Data Factory ETL similar to same or different, sir?
Yes, that is between only on premises. That is, if Informatica is there, if you do it, that means if at all you have on premises, you have here also on premises. That means in your computer which is located in Amirpet, you are trying to transfer the data on another physical computer, which is located in Bangalore. which is located in Bangalore.
Okay.
At that time, it is called as what? On-premises to on-premises transfer. Whenever we use the on-premises to on-premises transfer, we will be using the ETL tool that is called as what? Informatica, or we can say Ab initio, or whatever you call it as. We use that. But whereas what is the trend going on? The trend, the entire IT industry is trying to shift its data from the on-premises environment, from what is that? On-premises environment to the cloud environment. Getting my point? From on-premises environment to what is that? Cloud environment. So the
Yes, sir.
entire, yes, go ahead. What is it? Somebody want to say something? Yeah, guys. Okay, no issues. Okay, so from the cloud and from on-premises environment towards that cloud environment, the entire IT industry, the entire world is into this particular job of moving their data from physical locations towards that cloud environment, because to reduce the burden of storage, because to reduce the security issues. Okay, these are the major reasons why every business entity is trying to move their data from the physical locations to cloud environment. But whereas as whenever you wanted to move the data from on-premises to what is that? Cloud environment, at that time we are going to use the service called what? ADF as the service. That is called as what? Azure Data Factory, which we are going to learn from now onwards. Okay, guys, that is nothing but called as what? Azure Data Factory. So here it helps us to transfer the data from on-premises to what is that? Cloud environment. Now, what is the necessity and how does exactly the things works off in ETL? Let us try to understand this with a very simple example, guys. I'll just give you an example. Let us assume here you have some data here. Let us assume here you have some data. Getting my point? You have some data. What is the necessity of loading the data? What is the necessity of performing the job of ETL? That I'm going to explain it to you now. You know already what is ETL. Extraction from the source and loading into the target. Extraction from the source and loading into the target. But how do we load it? What is this transformation? As we know that ETL stands for what? Extraction. Then we have what is a transformation. Then we have loading. What is this extraction? What is this transformation? What is this loading? I'll tell you with a small example. Then we will move ahead with the things here. So here you have, let us assume some data is here, some sales data. You have some sales data. Okay, guys, some sales data is here, some sales data. So whereas the sales data having the following product ID, can you see here? Product ID is this first column. I'm writing the data in the form of table. Table, which is the collection of what, guys? Table is the collection of what? Rows and columns. Table is the collection of what? Rows and
column.
Exactly, rows and columns. Rows and columns. So I'm writing the data in the form of what? Table here. So the data is, the sales data is written here in the form of what is that? Tables. In the form of what is that? Tables. So whereas the first column is the product ID, and the second one, let us assume here you have the product rate of the product, any product it can be. And now quantity sold, or we can say product quantity sold, QTY underscore sold here. See, make sure here mostly try to use the underscores. Okay, try to use the underscores to link. We generally use the underscores to link to what is that? To link one entity with the that is nothing but that is one word with the another word. If at all you want to link it, generally we use the underscores. But here the new technique what we are adopting is we can use the capital letter, one capital letter also. Can you see here? Quantity sold. I want to combine these two. So I can use what is it? Quantity QTY in normal, P is in capital, sold, that is S in capital. This is the another way, that is nothing but we are opting it right now. So whereas the next one, product rate, product quantity, that is product ID, product rate, product quantity. And here I'm adding one more column called date of sales. Okay, date of sales. Anyways, all these, you know, the basic programming techniques I'll explain you once you get into the part of this, you know, the practicals. Now, guys, here you have the following. What is that? The product ID. The product ID is something like this. Okay, guys. The product ID is something like this. The product ID is something like this. And whereas you have the product rate. Product rate, let us make it as 100 rupees as the product rate. Okay. 100, you can say it is rupees or a dollar, whatever you wanted. So let us assume it in rupees. And quantity sold is 10. That means 10 pieces sold or 10 items sold, whatever you can say that. And then you have what is the date of sales. Let us give the date of sales as 1908, guys. 1908 2022 is the date of sales. And then you have the another product ID, something like this. And then I'm making the rate as what? 200. And here I'm making it as what? 5 as a quantity sold. And the date of sales is 1908 2022. Now, guys, the another product I'm just entering. Okay, just a product ID. So you go to the supermarket, you will find this kind of things, obviously. So here you have what is, let us assume it here as 500 and quantity sold is 2. So now the date of sales is 19, guys, 08 2022. This is the date of sales is 19th. This is just sales information of the 19th of this month. Now again you have the next one. Let us assume, okay guys, let us assume here the same, but here you have the date is changed from 19th to 20th. Okay, so I'll make some changes even on the rate also. Let us make it here as a 10 is the rate, and then you have what is it, 20 is the rate, and your 50 is the rate. Getting my point? Now this is your data. So now tell me, guys, how many days data is here? Can you tell me, all of you? Yes, guys, we have
2 days.
47 participants are there. I want a reply, guys. I cannot go dummy.
2 days.
Oh, that is, yes, exactly. I want everyone to interact. See, this is better for you to interact, so that if you have any doubt, you can just clarify now and now there and then itself. If you don't interact with me, how can I know that you people are following or not? Okay, because this is not, if it was the early morning class, then it's fine, guys. You might be, in sleeping mode and all, but now you people are active, so you should interact. Okay, this is, see, this is the 2 days data, you have it. Now, guys, this will become your source. I'm just giving here a source. This will be a source. Getting my point? Now what you have to do is you have to load the data into the target. This will become your target, guys. Target is here. So now this is your target. You have to load the data into target. What is my destination data? I want the destination data in this particular format. That means I want this following things to be loaded into my destination. What is that? I want the net sales amount. I want the net sales amount. Then afterwards, I want the date of sales as well. Or else I want the date of sales as well. Okay. So I want what is the date of sales. I'm using date of sales. I want like this. Now, guys, I'm not worried how much amount is, which product sold, and what is the amount, that is what is the amount collected by each product. I don't want it as an end user. So this data is required for this is my target, and this target, guys, this is my target, the same target. As I cannot type it here, I'm just typing here. This is the target, guys. This is the target, and whereas this target is required by the management of a sales industry, whatever that is nothing but, let us assume some supermarket management. They want it. They want how much amount is collected, total amount of sales, and the date of sales. They want this. So now, guys, the story starts from E here. What is E? Yes, guys, what is E? E stands for what? Yes, E stands for what? Extraction. So we want the data to be extracted from the source. So now tell me, what are the columns you require to be extracted? Now for our target, do we require it here, the product ID?
No.
No, we don't require the product ID because
No
I
needing.
want net sales amount irrespective of the product. I don't want to know the product, which product sold, at what rate sold, how many things. I don't how many, what is the quantity of the product. I don't want. I want only the net amount collected for the day. So for this, what we have to do, extraction. So the extraction requires the product rate and the product quantity sold and the date of sales. These three columns are required. But I want net sales amount. Now, guys, once the data is extracted, and as I wanted to find out the net sales amount, do we need to perform some arithmetic operations on the data or not?
Yes.
Arithmetic calculations. Do we require to
Yes,
perform some
sir.
calculations? Yes, in fact, because to extract the
Yes,
net
yes.
sales amount, to extract the net sales amount, guys, we require to perform some, what is that, arithmetic operations. That means 100 into 10 means what will be our outcome here? 1000. Exactly, very good. And then 200 into 5, that is
1000.
also 1000. And 500 into 2,
1000.
that is also 1000. Getting my point? 1000. Now, guys, now you are performing the arithmetic operations called multiply, that is multiplying it, the 100, that is into 10, and you're getting this values. So now these values are the 1000, 1000 and 1000. Now I want to
3000.
consolidate them. That means I want a net sales amount now. Net sales amount of this day. What is the day you have it? The day is the 19th day of August 2022. So my date of sales is this. Just a minute. My date of sales is this. I want it here like this. Now, how to do, what is it we have to do? We have to consolidate the data. So 1000 plus
3000.
1000 plus 1000, 3000. That means what is the operation you are performing? First of all, you are performing the multiplication, then you are performing the addition. Two arithmetic operations you are performing it. So I am writing it here 3000. Sorry, 3000 is the date, that is net sales amount. Now, guys, what is the next thing you have it? So now what you are doing, this performing of arithmetic operations will be done by using, what is that, transformation. By using, what is that, transformation. Ultimately, after the transformation is done, what we will be doing, we'll be loading the data into the target now. That is nothing but loading or destination. Loading means what? I have written here. That means already the data is loaded here. Now the next day data, what is the same? You have it 10 into 10. Just tell me now, what is it? 10 into 10, 100. Then you have, what is that, 20 into 5? Just tell me. 100. Very good. Then you have, what is it, 50 into 2?
100.
Yes, guys, 100. That's it. Now, guys, the same thing, I'm entering it in the second row. What is that? The total net sales amount. Now perform the operation called what? Addition. Now 300, and the date of sales is what?
20.
20. Now can you see here? 08 2022. Now tell me, guys, 6 lines data I have consolidated in how many lines here? 2 lines.
2 lines.
So this is the logic and beauty, and you can say the actual operation you perform it by using the extraction, transformation, and loading. Getting my point? So the main logic is nothing but is in the transformation. As a data engineer, you will have to perform or concentrate more on the transformation and on the extraction part, because extraction means what you extract here? You extract the data. Ultimately you extract what? Data. You ultimately extract the data. Okay, you will get the data. But whereas, what is the type of data you get? You can get any type of data. That is called as what? Raw and messy data. You can get the that is called as semi-structured data, structured data, etc. Now don't worry, I'll explain you what is all this. Okay, so guys, can you understand? So this is nothing but the data. This is nothing but the thing about the extraction, transformation, and loading. Now let us see how exactly the data. Let us come back to the data, because the main factor which we are going to work here is the data, guys. So data, what is the, or what is a data? Data means what? Information. Na? We will be working on what is that? Information. That is called as what? Data. Information. Okay, guys. Information is nothing but data. Now, a large amount of data means what? A large amount of data means what? Large amount of information means what? Can we
Metadata.
Collection of
Can we call it as a big data?
Metadata.
Yes, a large amount of data is nothing but what? Big data. Can we call it
Metadata.
as- Exactly. Big data. We can call it as what? Big data. Big data means what? Large data. Big means what? Big means what? Large, na?
Large.
Data means what? Information. So hence we can elaborate and say, or in simple language, or for your understanding, I can say that large data, that is nothing but called big data. Or else I can use huge data. Okay, huge data. Don't get confused or don't get panic when I'm using the word called big data, because big data is a technical word. Okay, so whereas big data is nothing but what? This is the only thing it means. Large data or huge data. Nothing is very complicated. Nothing is complicated, guys. Let us, it depends upon us how simple we take the things. That is the only way and logic of understanding the things. Okay, so now big data. Now let us see the first of all the type of big data. Now I'm writing it here, big data types. Guys, you can have the big data or the data, whatever you call it as, divided into three different types of or categories. That is called as what? The first one is called as what? Structured data. Yes, everyone following? I want a reply. We have 48 participants. I want a reply.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Structured data.
Yes, sir. Structured data.
So any doubt in the previous thing we have dealt?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, nothing.
Good. So now we have a structured data. Guys, the next one is called as what? Semi-structured data.
Structure.
Semi-structured data. The next one, the third one is called as what? Unstructured data. Now let us try to understand what is this semi-structured and structured and unstructured. I'll elaborate and tell you guys. Now guys, you have seen just a data here. This data you have seen it now. This is in which format? Proper rows and columns format. That is in a tabular format. This kind of data is called as structured data, where you need not work on the structured data. Structured data is ready-made data. Structured data is what is that? A ready-made data. You get the ready-made data. This is called as what? Structured data. A data with a proper rows and columns. The data with the proper rows and columns is called as what? Structured data. Is called as what? Structured data. A data with a proper rows and columns is called as what? Structured data. Now guys, the next logic and very important thing called as what? Semi-structured data. Now, what do you mean by semi-structured data? What do you mean by semi? Tell me now. Structured, you know, na, rows and columns. What do you mean by semi?
Before structure.
That means half.
Output.
It means what? Half structure. Semi means what? Half, na. Okay. You
Half
say
of
what?
the data.
Yes,
Yes, sir,
half
of the
of the
data.
structure. Exactly, half of the structure. That is called as what? Semi-structured. The semi-structured data, we can get it in the following. What is that? In the following. We get the semi-structured data into the following formats. What is that? Or else into the following files or onto the following format. That is called as what? The first one is XML files, or we can say HTML files. Just put it in the mute mode, guys. Whoever it's disturbing the class. Okay. That is XML file, HTML file, and we have the JSON file. Means what? JSON stands for what? JavaScript object notation files. Yes, JavaScript object notation file. JavaScript object notation file. Yes, guys, JavaScript object notation file. Okay, JSON stands for what? JavaScript object notation file. XML stands for extendable markup language, and HTML stands for what? Hypertext markup language. Now see guys, I will show you how the data will be written in an XML format. Okay guys, So now suppose the same data I am writing it for, for clarity. I don't want to disturb the data at this point of time. Now guys, I have a table name. The table name is the sales data. I'm giving the table name here as a sales data. Same data I will write it in the that is nothing but the semi-structured format, that is called XML. The XML. So can you see here? This, the first one is called as the row tag. These are called as tag. The data given in the tags is nothing but referred as what? XML. The data in the XML is will be written like this. Here you have, can you see? This is called as, let us give the sales data. Sales data. Sorry, data. Now guys, this is called as what? Opening row tag. This is called as what? Opening row tag. This is called as what? Opening row tag. Yes, this is called as what? Opening row tag. Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, who is this? Just stop using this. This is called as what? Opening tag. Now guys, I'll write this. The next one. Now I will write the first row and first that is column and first row. Only I'll write the first row here. So I'm writing the first row. How it will be written? Can you see here? The data will be written in the form of tags. So now you will have the opening tag, the first opening tag. What is the first opening tag? Product ID. Product. Can you see here? Product ID. This is highly case sensitive, guys. Product ID. XML file you're talking about. Can you see a product ID? And now what is the value you have it? This is the value. So I'll write the value here. Control C. I'm copying and pasting it. Now guys, this is the same. This is called as an opening tag. This is called as what? Opening tag. Now you have to close this tag. For closing this tag, we need to use the slash here like this. This is called as a closing tag. Now the second column, I'll write it here. Guys, the second column, I'll write it product rate. Okay. The second row I will write it, not the second column. I can say the second row I'm writing it with the second column. So what is that you have it? 100 is the same. And now I will write it here, closing tag and opening tag. All of you following what I'm doing it here? I'm writing the XML file. The data will be written in the XML file. As a data engineer, you should know the pattern of every data, guys. Then only you can play with the data. As a data engineer, you should know the pattern. That's the reason I'm taking you up. Making you aware with the patterns. Can you see here? Again, you have the data here like this. So now I'm writing the third column, and now the third column. What is the data you have it, guys? 10. And now, sorry, now the tag is here. I'm pasting it the data, and now I'm closing the tag. But the tag has to be closed by using the slash here. Now, what is the next one you have it? Date of sales. Guys, what is it you have it? Date of sales, and the date of sales is here. Date of sales is here. And now guys, what is the date of sales? I'm just copying the date here. Okay, from here. Okay, just copying it. Just put it in the mute mode, please. It's disturbing the class. Mute yourself. Now can you see here? Guys, this is the closing tag. So now this is nothing but the data written. Now can you see here, guys? The entire row is written. Now I want to close the row. The row is completed now. The first row you have written it. So for closing the row, you have to use like this. Row tag. Closing of the row tag. Closing of what is that? Row tag. All of you following? Yes, guys, I want a reply from you guys. Yes, all of you following?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. This is nothing but the closing tag. So this is how you write the data into XML format. Okay. HTML will also be the same, but there will be a separate body. I'll show you that also. Now I will just show you once the JSON, and then we'll move further with this. So now JSON. The data in a JSON file will be recorded in a key value pair. In which one? Key value pair. The data is the same thing. If the same data I am writing it, please mute yourself. Yes, guys. Can you see here? Can you see here? We have a JSON file. So the data within the JSON file will be recorded in what? Key value pair. That is nothing but what? Key value pair for that. So the data will be recorded in the curly braces. So now the brace will start like this. Now I have to write the curly brace. Curly brace is this one, guys. Curly brace is this one. Now I'm writing it. The first row. What is that? You have it. The first row. I'm writing it here. What is that? The date product ID. Product ID. Now see here, the data will be recorded under the double quotation marks is equal to, now under the double quotation marks, again the value whatever you have it. Getting my point? Now here you have it. The data will be recorded in a JSON file like this. So again the data will be written here. Now again the comma after this, there will be a comma. Then come to the next line. Again the data is recorded in what? The same product rate. Can you see here? Product rate. Now you have to write the rate of the products. So I'm just writing it here. And then afterwards is equal to, under this again double quotation marks, the rate is what is that you have it. Let us give it as 100 as the rate. And again after this you'll have a comma. Then afterwards, what is the next thing you have it? Product quantity sold. So just let us try to copy this. I'm just copying it and trying to paste it here. Now this is the thing we have it is equal to. Now guys, what is the value you have it? The value is the 10. I'm just using it. Okay, comma. Then afterwards, what is the next thing you have it? Date of sales. I'm just copying this. Date of sales is here. So just copy this. Is equal to, again, what is the date of sales you have it? 19. Okay, sorry. 19/8/2022. I'm just copying this. Now guys, the data, the first row you have written it. Getting my point? The first row you have written it. That means you have to close the curly brace. This is called as what? A key value pair or an item. This is called as what? Key value pair or an item. Anyways, once we get into the subject, I will explain you the things in very detail. Don't worry about this. So the data is recorded in the semi-structured format, that is called as what? XML or JSON. HTML will be more similar to the XML only. So that's the reason why I did not explain you that. So now XML and what is that? JSON. These are the two type of things or two type of formats, which is called as what? Semi-structured format. Getting my point? Now guys, you can just speak out if you have any doubt. Following everyone?
Yeah, yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, Samir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now the next one is what? Unstructured. Unstructured means what? Absolutely no structure. There will be no structure. The photos in your mobile phone, the videos, okay, the videos, etc. These are all called as what? Unstructured. There will be, and the chat history, guys, and the chat history. All this that is we chatted on the Facebooks, we chatted on the WhatsApp. All that is, does it has any structure? No. That is called as what? Unstructured data. The data which does not has any kind of structure. Any kind of structure. Getting my point? The data which does not have any kind of structure is called as what? Unstructured data. And semi-structured means what? The data which has that is half of the structured. Structured means what? Fully structured. The data which is nothing but recorded in what? In the proper form of rows and columns. So these are the three types of big data we can have it. The big data is classified into how many categories here? Three categories: semi-structured, structured, and what is that? Unstructured.
Unstructured.
Getting my point? Now the next one after this, guys. Okay, so then afterwards, so now let us see the sources of getting the big data. From where do we get this big data? That we have to know. So for that I'm writing it. Source
Database.
of big data. Only, not only the database, you have many more sources. Source of getting the big data. Source of getting the big data. Yes, guys, I'm going on to the very basic level. I'll come on to that. Don't worry. I'll come on to that level. Once you people start enjoying the subject, then I'll come down. Okay. So now the sources of big data. What is that? We can get the big data from the following source. The first source is what? Social networking sites. Social networking sites means what? Yes, Facebook,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Twitter.
Instagram, all these are nothing. Yes, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these are called as what is that? The sources of getting the big data. Next one. What is it? You have human generated data. Now, human generated data. So now what do you mean human generated data, guys? The human generates the data in the various formats. As just now somebody said, database. As just now somebody said database, no? Database is what? It is human generated data. Getting my point? Human generated data. Hence, the data which is there in the, that is the data which is generated by the human is called as what? Human generated data. It can be into what? CSV files. It can be into what? Excel files. Or it can be into what? It can be into what? That is nothing but database. Okay. All this is nothing but called as what? Human generated data. And apart from this, you have that is called as what? The next source of getting the big data is nothing but machine generated data. Guys, apart from, yes guys, apart from the data generated, apart from the, yes guys, apart from the data generated, apart from the data generated by the human being and the data which is generated, that is we got it from the social networking sites, we also have the machine, that is data generated by what? Machines. So what are the machines which generates the data? Yes guys, so for that, so I think we all know about the CT scan machine. CT scan machine, it has become very famous in the COVID. Okay, CT scan machine. And they have what? ECG machines. Yes, ECG machine, sorry,
Like
ECG machine.
MRI.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
MRI. Yes, exactly. MRI. All this.
Yes.
These are all the machines, and these machines also generates the data. Hence, such kind of data is called as what? Machine generated data. And these machines generates a very massive amount of data. Guys, this machine generated data is used by whom? By the clinical researchers. By the clinical researchers. That is nothing but I think everyone is aware of the clinical trials. What is clinical trial? After the COVID situation,
Before
I think,
before
yes,
releasing the product, they are conducting the
yes,
clinical
exactly.
trials.
Yes. In the clinical trials, what happens? The data, from where we get it? The data, we collect it even from the machine generated. That is called a CT scan, ECG machines, etc., etc. Getting my point? And the fourth source of getting the big data is nothing but we have the IoT sensors. These are called as the data
Internet of
generate. Yes, exactly. That is nothing but that is sensor. These are the sensors which generates the data, which is used for measuring what is that? The pressure, temperature, etc., etc. Okay, these are all the things which generates it. So for the next one, okay, so these are what is that? The sources of getting the big data. Okay, and that's it. These are the source. Anyways, we have a many more sources. If we keep on discussing, we will held up in these things. So let us see. These are the sources of getting the big data, and whatever the big data you get it, that big data is divided or classified into what is that? Three categories: unstructured, semi-structured, and what is that? Structured. And now guys, I forgot to tell you one more important point: the data which is generated by the banking applications. The data generated by what is that? Banking applications is also called as what? Is also referred as the huge and bulky data. See, very bulky data is generated by the banking sector. The applications running on the bank, the applications running on the banking domain generates a very large amount of data. Hence, even this is called that this is considered as what? A major source of getting the big data. Getting my point? Major source of getting the big data. So now these are the some of the sources where we get the big data. Okay, and this data, what we get it it can be into unstructured, structured, and what is that? Semi-structured format. Now, as a data engineer, guys, come back. As a data engineer, your job is to extract the data, whether it is in semi-structured format, structured format, or unstructured format. Convert that semi-structured or unstructured data to what is that? Structured data, and load it into the target. That is your job as a data engineer. Data engineer means not only extraction, transformation, and loading. In extraction, you will have all these logics where you need to extract the data and convert the data. Unstructured data, you will get it. You have to convert that unstructured data into proper structured, because suppose you have got the data into file, some JSON file, you got the data, guys, and this JSON file has to be written into the database table here. Database table. So JSON means what? JSON is a semi-structured, na? And database table means what? In a proper structure format, rows and columns. Okay, rows and columns. Okay, you know what's that? Proper rows and that is column format. Okay, so you have to load the data. So that means you have to convert the semi-structured data into what is that? Structured format. So that you will have to do it as a data engineer. That is the actual logic of the data engineering job. And this job you can do it here by using the Azure Data Factory. And this Azure Data Factory is the service which we apply to transform the data, to extract the data, to load the data from on-premises to what is that? Cloud environment. And even vice versa, from the cloud environment to on-premises also we can do that. That's also possible here. Okay, so now these are the things we have it now. So okay, guys, this is nothing but the basic structure we have seen it. Okay, and in the next class, that will be on that is the Monday. Tomorrow you will not have the class. Monday you will have it at the same 7 p.m. you will have the class. Now then we'll start up with the practicals, and also we'll start with the rest of the balance things we have it. Okay, so any doubt if you have, you can just ask me. Everyone.
Sir, what are the requirement or configurations of the system, sir, for the Azure Data
No
Factory?
configuration is required because it is a cloud connectivity. You don't require any configuration, guys. To log in, I'll show you just a minute. To log in, just what you need to do here is go to what is that? This particular portal. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So just type your portal, or else I'll write it azure.com. Azure.com. No configuration is required, guys. A simple PC is enough. Whatever you have it, that's enough. You go to this. Once you have been here, can you see? Here you will have try Azure for free and getting started. You can click anything and just clicking. I'm selecting the getting started. Now, guys, once you select on the getting started, click on the get started here again. Now you will have to provide your mail ID here, some mail ID, some of your mail ID, and then click on next. Immediately it will ask you the password. So that password also you have to enter it. And once you enter your password, okay, once you enter your it will ask you your credit card details. It will ask you your credit card details, and it will charge only 2 rupees. You can just click on the free account also. Directly click free account. If you click on the free account, can you see here? Pay as you go model or free. So you can start with the free model. Click on start free. Start with free. It will charge only 2 rupees. It will charge only 2 rupees. Okay, from your credit card, and then that will be valid for around 1 month, and sometimes it will also work for 45 days or 2 months. Also, it will work based on the usage you have it. So once you have done, so you will be drived back to this particular page. That page is called as, what is that? You will have portal.azure.com. This will be your actual page. Just a minute. I will open some other browser and show you once, because I have already this subscription. I have it. So I'll just show you. Are you able to see my screen, guys?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm just selecting this. Just a minute. Just a minute. It's redirecting. So this is your Azure environment that is called as portal.azure.com. Can you see here? This is my mail ID. So hence here can you see on this mail ID it is created. Now mine is a pay as you go model, but you can opt it for free. So this is your web page. So here only we'll do everything, guys. There is no configuration required. That is the reason. That is the beauty of the cloud technology you have it. You need not worry and you need not do anything on this. Okay. So you some installations is not required. The basic thing is enough for you. Okay. So you
Sir,
can tell me.
for transformation, have you going to touch Informatica also?
No, we will run the patches of Informatica.
Okay.
We'll run the already ready-made code of Informatica into ADF.
Okay.
That is the only job we do it in the real time, because as we are moving already from on-premises, okay, so that is the job we do it. Okay.
So whatever the tool which used through the Informatica, just like aggregator and sorter, and these things also covered or what?
Yes, of course, those are called as transformations.
Yeah,
Aggregator transformations, you have it. A row that is a sorter row transformation.
Yeah.
You have many transformations that we will see it. Okay.
And how
So
much
it will be like for different scenarios, different transformations will be used. Here also we'll be covering different scenarios
Yes,
to
obviously.
cover different like
we
transformations.
will see the case study. I will show you. We will see the case study like this. First of all, every classes wise, okay, every classes wise, we'll just divide the case study. We'll start with the case study and just a minute. Let me open this. See, I'm just having this. I'm just can you see here? I'm writing it. Creating of a stored procedure. We'll discuss like this. We'll discuss all the things like this, one after the other. I'll explain you the things. Okay, this is the specifications, how we move on this. And then we write the code here. I'll write you the code. I'll paste this code on this, the drive, whatever that is. I'll just paste this code and send you across on the drive. Or else, anyways, you have the video recording now. You can prepare your own data. That's not a problem. So that is the process we follow it. Okay.
So, sir, it is complete Azure or just related with the ETL concepts?
It's complete Azure.
Okay.
Okay. In that, we are seeing the service called Azure Data Factory.
Okay. Sir, what is the difference between ETL and ELT?
ELT is that where we extracted, load it, then we go for the transformations based on the requirement. That is basically developed on artificial intelligence data, basically AI. I'll explain you once we get into the subject. Don't worry about that.
So apart from sir Informatica, we going to use some other tools also, just like Advenced and other.
See, we are not going to see the Informatica. We are not going to see the Advenced. We will run the patches of those in ADF. We are going to see only the ADF.
Sir, is Power BI included in that course?
No. Power BI, we will see the scenario, how to generate the reports in this, but Power BI is not covered. There's only ADF.
Okay. Sir, will you please brief about MSBI and other integration services by Microsoft? Is it different or
that is different?
How it is different?
Basically, MSBI is purely okay. Mainly focusing on the reporting part and all those things. But here, advanced on this. See, what happened is, based on the requirement, they're taking off a new product. Based on the requirement, they're taking off the new product. That is basically mainly focusing on the that is reporting part, Microsoft Business Intelligence, applying the, that is nothing but the logic on the business data and generating the requisite output and all. Whereas here we don't use that, but we will have the synapse. We will see that reporting part into the synapse here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the all the things like transformations and other things. So here, like in Informatica, we have different transformations. Then we'll make mappings, then sections and all the things. So here will we have certain things like that, or like it will be totally
the same scenarios. What we do is we extract it. Okay, then what will we write on transformations? We have various transformations, then we load it. So we will see this every transformation one day, every transformation. Okay, suppose every transformation one day we'll see it. The transformation is called as mapping data flows. It is called here as mapping data flows.
okay.
Okay, guys. Yeah,
Hello.
tell me.
As per our discussion, Azure Data Factory is ETL, right? Not ELT.
Yes. ELT, I'll tell you now. That's what. Once we get into
yes.
the subject, I'll tell you that ELT. ELT is a new technique. Now the corporates are adopting that ELT also.
Okay.
Most of the people, they don't know what is this ELT also. Basically.
Sir, if I don't have a credit card, then what should I do, sir? For
You check with what you have to do means you check with Nazir, that is the admin with this DURGASOFT. I think they may help you out on this.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, Samir, this is Rangi. I have one quick question. So, are you going to cover synapses in this code?
Of course, Synapse. We'll see scenarios on Synapse.
Okay, and one more question. So, don't mind. Like, we're going to cover all the aspects of ADF, like what are the course content is currently circulating in Amitbid. Are you going to cover all the aspects and same thing?
See, I don't know what is being circulated, but what is there in our website, that I'll all cover it.
Okay.
Sir, another one question: what kind of job it offers? Because as per my knowledge, Azure is database side, cloud database, and we are using Informatica as ETL tool. So, what kind of job it offers? It is for a database only, cloud database, or it is offer in Informatica also?
The designation wise, the job wise, the things, as you call it, as a Azure data engineer. Okay. So in some company, they may call it as a data architect or data designer. Everything, from company to company, project to project, the client to client, what you're working, the designations and all these things still vary. But wherever the involvement of data is there, a data engineer is mandatorily required.
Okay. And how much knowledge we required as like PL/SQL or Oracle for Azure Data Factory?
Today's class you understood, na?
Yeah.
Likewise, I will take up all the classes. Don't worry about that. You don't require to learn the things separately. I will try to give you such an input. If it is better for more better understanding, I request you guys to just refer the SQL language. You will have a lot of things on this internet also. You can just check what is things you have. Yeah, tell me, what's this?
Tomorrow we have session that is 10. That is also same demo, or that is
no. Tomorrow we don't have any session. Directly we have it on Monday now.
I have seen some Saturday 10 o'clock.
It is already done today morning. It's done.
Okay. Tomorrow we don't have any.
Tomorrow no class. Sunday na we'll not have a class. We'll directly have it on Monday.
Okay. And I hear some confusion. You said that Azure Data Factory is ETL. I'm not getting it. It is ETL tool, right? ETL service, Azure Data Factory.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
But not ELT. Not ELT.
ELT or the ETL is the logic what we apply.
Okay.
Okay, that is yeah. tell me.
Both logics are same. Both
Yes,
we have.
same. But ELT, what we do is mostly on the artificial intelligence, that is the data. If at all you want to, the data, some ML machine learning has to be applied. At that time, first of all, we load it, then we transform it based on the requirement. Yes, tell me.
Got it.
Yeah.
My question is regarding on-premise database technologies like Hadoop cluster or Spark like component. Do we require Hive or HBase type? Do we require any knowledge regarding to enter into the data engineering, cloud data engineering field?
See, what I can tell you on this is, the more knowledge you have, that much better job and best job you can get it, and that fast you can get the job. Having knowledge and understanding this particular subject is different. If you say that I want to acquire the knowledge, that is well and good. You acquire the maximum knowledge what you can do. But for learning this, whatever is required, that I will take care. That is the only thing I can tell you. If at all you want more knowledge, you try to acquire it. Nobody is stopping on that. Okay.
Okay, so it will be added advantage.
Obviously, no.
Yes.
So if I have 5 to 6 years some other field, so can it be like after this course I can put it as Azure data engineer on the same field? It's into SQL. I have 5 years, so can I like include that Azure into 5 years?
While putting up the experience, don't forget that the licensing of this has come into existence in 2018. So prior to that, if you put up, I don't think that will work out for you.
2018, okay.
2018. After we got the first license, we are in company, we have opted it, and we are just taking it into 2019 January onwards. I am working on this. That's what I told you. I have 3 years of experience on cloud engineering, what I said yesterday.
Okay.
So try to put it up some valuable things and some sensible things, so that you are not you can just have on the safe side. If you say that you are working on from 10 years on the cloud technology, they'll come to know, obviously. That's the thing. So you have to just work on based on the things. Yeah. Next one.
What are the certifications for Azure Data Factory? That means in Microsoft is offering. What is the code?
See, the Microsoft, for that, you can just check on the web page of this. You will have all the certifications levels. Okay. You have some different levels at different this thing. You can get certified on particularly on the Synapse also. Okay. And general engineer, data engineer certification you can have on a particular service wise. You can have the certification levels are differing from levels to level. Yeah.
So, can I find them in Microsoft page? You are saying, right?
I'll send you a link. You just follow that link. Okay. And
yeah,
guys, we will create. I will create a that is a WhatsApp group. Okay. I'll add you all in that WhatsApp group. If you have any chats, you can just tell me. I'll share you the link for all these things. Even for some of the job requirement, I'll share you that link. You can just upload your CVs if it requires. See, I'm not telling you that I will get you a job. That is, don't be in that conception. If we have a requirement, I'll send you across. You can forward your CVs on that. If you get selected, then it's fine. If not, I can't help on that. Getting my point?
Sir, on this basis of class, can we give any basic level certification?
I will say, as a trainer, you can write, many certifications, everything you can do it, I can tell you. Okay, because basically I'm a commercial trainer now. So that you have to decide it. Once you have to, learn the thing, see the things, you'll come to know up to what level you are going into the subject. Obviously, now everybody will say, yes, you can write the certification, everything, but you have to decide ultimately. You'll come to know.
Samir,
yeah.
Is Azure Databricks same for ETL or purpose is different?
Same for ETL only, but the purpose is different. Something we just, we have a concept called Delta Lake is there. Some Delta Lake, because the Delta Lake is trending now. so that all delta lakes we can just create it and we can access it in bricks also. That's
Okay.
more flexible in bricks rather than the factory.
For registration, sir, we use our debit card also, or only credit card required?
No, credit card is required. Credit card is required. Okay, so that you can check it with the management if they can help you out. Okay, for the people who don't have the credit card, they may help you out on that. You can just check with the management.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, guys, any other questions?
So for every month, it will debit like according to the usage, it will debit or like how it will be
For the
debit.
first
Like,
month, for no, you have to give an authorization every time. Some OTP will be sent to your mobile phone, then only it will debit. Don't worry, it is not an auto debit like some other things you have.
okay.
Yeah, next, anyone?
For I wonder, for every services like data factory, we have one certification. Synopsis, we have one.
Your voice is
certification. Data
cranking.
lake,
Who is
we
this?
have one
Your voice is
certification.
cranking. Your voice is cranking. Your
Yeah,
voice is
it
not.
is Naga.
Yeah, tell me, Naga. Your voice is cranking. It's
Can
not
you
clear.
hear me? For every services like the factory, we have one certification. We have one certification. Data lake, we have one certification. Like that, or for the whole group, we have only certification.
No,
Microsoft
the different
Servlet.
level. No, the different level of certifications are given at the different levels. You have different level of certification, not a whole one for everything. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll meet again on Monday, the same time, 7 p.m. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye.